story from our sages about an old, wrinkled man carefully planting a sapling. When a young boy walks past and is intrigued about what he sees, and he says, "Old man, aren't you wasting your time? Surely you're not going to live long enough to see the fruits of your trees?" And the old man says, "Indeed, you're right. But, you see, I was born into a world where trees and fields were filled with produce, a world teeming with life and resources, and I want to make sure that I leave behind a world for my grandchildren in the same way as I was." Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to just talk about trees and fruits. I'm going to talk about food security, food and nutrition security, and to follow on what Tracy has said, that it's a situation when all people at all times should have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. This is a high-profile topic that is discussed by government officials, ministers. In fact, Mr. Julius Malema raised it yesterday, clearly stating about food security. It's discussed by academics and the wider population, and this morning, you and me. It brings into focus the inextricable link between food, health, social, and economic development. And this important issue has serious ramifications and consequences for our wider society. So let me share some of the background for this problem, and just to build on what Tracy has said. It is acknowledged that South Africa is in the midst of a serious food insecurity crisis. Poverty, unemployment, and hunger and other socioeconomic and educational inequalities are widespread. In the greater Johannesburg metropole, of which we are part, millions of people, men, women, and children, go to bed hungry, have insufficient food, and or eat the wrong types of food. In adults and youth, lack of diversified diets is linked to detrimental health outcomes, such as obesity and diabetes, which is placing a huge burden on our already overstretched health system. Scarce funds and restricted food choices forces many to buying food, highly processed food, high in sugar, salt, and fat content, all of which have a detrimental impact on health. And in children, again, as Tracy mentioned, our future, malnutrition is highly prevalent, especially micronutrient deficiency, which means a lack of minerals and vitamins, which is often referred to as hidden hunger, because we don't actually see that. And this results in physical and cognitive stunting. In the same way as a blemish made on a seed results in a defective or an unhealthy plant, so too our children are like seeds. And we need to make sure that we don't blemish those children who are going to be our future generation with poor nutrition. So taking into account these foods, health, and socioeconomic concerns, as well as the environmental issues such as soil, water, and air pollution, we need to reconsider, interrogate, and address all aspects of food and nutrition security. I believe we can make serious inroads in decreasing the prevalence of food security. But this ambitious goal can only be achieved if people and policies, government, corporates, and strategic interventions all submit to positive disruption and change. Such transformation could result in healthier profiles, improved socioeconomic circumstances, and simply a better world in which to live. In order to achieve this worthy objective, we need ecological and health systems that allow for the best mix of research, real-life grassroots projects, but very importantly, which are supported by government and corporates, open dialogue with all stakeholders, and efficient and effective implementation to tackle the complexities of the food, energy, and water nexus. And so it requires us to implement a process of transformation at every single level. I have undergone a personal transformation from my roles as a dentist, a public health practitioner, and now an urban agriculturist, or as some people say, from cavities and caries to communities to cultivation. In my many years of working in the communities as a health professional, I witnessed the extent to which food security and nutrition security can compromise people's immunity and their ability to function to their full capacity and potential. And so this was a trigger for me to explore the potential of urban food gardens as one option of addressing the problem. Thus, in 2005, together with colleagues from Wits University and the community, we transformed the dump site into a vegetable patch on a piece of land located in Bezuidenhout Park, and we named the project Siyakhana, which means appropriately building one another or each other. Bez Park, by the way, is only 10 minutes from where we are meeting this morning in the inner city. Over the years, we've transformed the small vegetable patch and transformed it into a small-scale farm, and very importantly, a platform and a launching site for other food gardens. The project has maintained a vigorous academic approach and has applied broad, multidisciplinary, and multifaceted research and teaching, which I refer to in tackling the wicked food, health, and socioeconomic issues. Our model has now evolved into a social entrepreneurial enterprise and a capacity-building incubator, which is in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals, with food and nutrition security being our main focus. And so at Siyakhana, a process of transformation is at play at many levels. An arid and unproductive plot of land has been transformed into a flourishing oasis. Dry, infertile ground transformed into nutrient-dense soil, and waste, cut grass, and wood chips transformed into compost, often called black gold because of its value. Our educational programs are transforming the ways people think and behave, resulting in them choosing to eat less highly processed, sugary and fatty foods, which you can see, and opting for more nutritionally diverse, healthy, fresh organic produce replete with micronutrients and immune-boosting properties. This is what we harvested at Siyakhana just last week. We have been involved in transforming an empty and bare roof into a green and productive site just up the road from where we are today. We have transformed unemployed and unskilled job seekers into urban agriculturists, trainers, and entrepreneurs. Inexperienced and timid student interns, these students are from TUT doing their work-integrated learning at Siyakhana. We've transformed them into confident, communicative, capable, and very importantly, contented scholars. But most importantly, we have transformed people's mindsets from attitudes of apathy, neglect, and disempowerment into ones of purpose, inspiration, and hope. This transformation has enabled individuals and groups to take greater responsibility and control of their well-being and environments in which they live and work. Siyakhana provides a safe and a secure setting and an ethos of thinking about humanity, compassion, goodness and kindness, and Ubuntu ideology, and from Leslie, I believe, a TEDx ideology, and a proudly African approach to life. Many have asked me how and why Siyakhana has prevailed and been sustained for almost 14 years. It required somebody with enthusiasm and drive and passion to manage the project. And so it was divine providence that I was at the right place and the right time, and I willingly and enthusiastically took on the challenge to manage the people involved, to utilize their collective energies, and to harness multiple resources and sectors, all of which were necessary to establish this dynamic, sustainable project. It's been a tough but a remarkably rewarding project, and it's been a privilege to work with so many wonderful and highly motivated people. I would like to acknowledge all of them. And although Siyakhana may be perceived as being in the business of plants, we're actually in the business of people, partnerships, and potential. Our strength lies in networking, lobbying, and collaborating with people in government, business, and local communities, forming partnerships with corporates and NGOs, with global and national universities, and with schools. And this proves the importance of working together. Our findings and teachings have yielded and shared vital data which are informing and influencing policy and strategic interventions. The returns of our focused investments have had multiple benefits and widespread consequences. Take Mandla, for example. Mandla, in 2006, volunteered at Siyakhana. We saw his potential. We sent him on a 2-week course in permaculture and a basic management course at Wits University, and then to an eco-village course in Germany. Mandla returned and became manager of Siyakhana, and with his charisma, with his newly acquired skills, and with his ability to teaching, he made an invaluable contribution to our project. Today, Mandla manages his own farm, he offers courses to many groups, and he teaches at the Indigenous Knowledge System at Northwest University in Mafeking. Mandla, like several others, too numerous to mention, have been empowered and have acquired practical and business and people-orientated skills, and have been given a sense of dignity and purpose. But these are not isolated success stories. Rather, it is Siyakhana's story of transforming historically underserved individuals who are capacitated and motivated to influence people around them. In terms of research, Hannah Dawson was a young and the first student at Wits University to undertake a research project at Siyakhana in which she explored the contribution of urban agriculture to sustainable livelihoods. Hannah Dawson is now a final doctoral candidate at Oxford University, where she's researching topics related to her Siyakhana experience. Siyakhana was the platform from which Hannah's academic and research career was launched and blossomed. But her research was only a start. At least 30 other research studies and surveys have been carried out by our team or by students from local and overseas universities at Siyakhana, at other sites and other settings. So Siyakhana has become a change agent that is uprooting old ideas and shifting the ways we think, learn, and practice urban farming. We offer and facilitate a wide range of courses for hundreds of participants who range from grassroots to tertiary education level. And we have a cascading influence on hundreds of other people. Siyakhana pays specific attention to women, youth, and people with disabilities, offering tailored training courses, accommodating them at the garden, enabling them to become more self-sufficient. We strive to understand the role of communities in which we work by integrating local indigenous knowledge and ideas into development and growth of people. We harness social capital in order to shed light on how food and nutrition can be better understood and thereby better addressed. We tackle isolation and hardship with compassion and caring, and make every effort to transform the problems of community into the possibility and potential in those communities. Siyakhana's impact and yields have produced meaningful and multiple rewards in agroecological practice, research, training, teaching, advocacy, and partnerships. And of course, not forgetting our wide range of quality produce, including vegetables, fruits and berries, herbs and nuts. However, all-inclusive and vigorous transformation can only really be achieved by scaling up ours and other such programs. The transformation and growth of urban agriculture will nevertheless require significant investment by government and corporates supported by universities, but will need the full participation and involvement with the communities. The persistence of hunger and food nutrition reflects deep inequalities in our country, ensuring that all South Africans have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food must be a national priority. I feel it's appropriate to conclude my talk by referring to South Africa's icon, the former President Nelson Mandela, whom my family and I had the privilege of meeting. When Madiba was in Pollsmoor prison, he grew a small plot allocated to him. He took responsibility for it and was the custodian for his vegetable patch. Ladies and gentlemen, so too, we South Africans need to demonstrate our responsibility and our leadership by sowing and growing seeds in our physical and spiritual gardens, cultivating care and concern for others, propagating potential and promoting health in the communities in which we live and work. Only then can we be assured that we'll be planting for the future.